YouTube, my name is Mike. I go by DJAXCESS. Welcome back to the channel. We aim to build a better DJ community together. This is going to be a crazy weekend with two weddings, one with the sax player and one with the groom that is a house DJ. So we're gonna set them up with like a 360 boiler room style set. But today is all about the gardens, and like I said, I'm gonna have my sax player with me. So I'm gonna take you along the journey, how we get set up, how we rock the party, because this bride and groom have some very specific requests, and it's all gonna be about managing those requests while still keeping the dance floor. So if you find something helpful or interesting, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with any questions you have down below. If you see any products, chances are there is an Amazon link in the description, and that is a free way for you to support the channel. Now let's get into it. Okay, so right now we're just waiting for Walter K on the sax to arrive. If you're a super OG of the channel, you'll remember Walt. We used to play together all the time, and then he went big time, got all these gigs, but we finally got our schedules to come together for today. So really lucky to have him along for the ride. So we're just waiting for him to show up. We'll unload the van. So this couple has a lot of songs that they want from like the blog EDM era, where there's a lot of saxophone, so Grizz, Sling Aid, stuff like that. So I sent Walt the list. He learned a few of the songs. They are actually going to do their first dance to Surf by Mac Miller, and they would like some sax on that. So I'm looking forward to playing alongside Walt again. He is fantastic. I mean, I could not tell him anything. You know, 10, 15 seconds into the song, does some little fingering, and boom, he's able to play the song. It's actually magical. So I'm looking forward to showing you guys what he does with the saxophone. So yeah. Oh, one thing I want to talk about is I'm not in the loading dock area, because one thing that I think wedding vendors do that can make other wedding vendors upset is like they'll just sit in the loading dock and then kind of take it up and other people. So we're not ready to set up, so I'm kind of sitting outside the loading dock, and then when we are ready to set up, we'll back in, get everything in and out, or just inside as quickly as possible, and then we'll go park and open it up to the other folks who need the space. So obviously, you know, it's not going to be for every wedding vendor, but this is something I like to really try to do. So that's what we're waiting for now, and I don't know, maybe I'll show you guys unloading the van. I feel like you've seen that on the channel by now, so probably not. Also, whenever we have a sax player, I always like to bring the djembe out, so we got that with us today as well. And I think I hear him. There he is, Walter K on the sax. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Walt and I were just catching up, so we got everything set up, nothing crazy here. We are a little tight on space. Let me show you that. So here is our sweetheart table, and then here is guest table right in front of the speakers. And I was actually talking about this with Walt. This is one of the reasons I really like that I have a column array. For those of you who don't know, if I had like a normal point source speaker, all of the sound is coming from two very large horns and woofers, right? So this table right here, I have to go over them to get the sound to the back of the room. With two big large horns, they're gonna hear a ton of sound. It's gonna be really annoying. With a column array, it's a lot of 2-inch speakers. So the speakers might not push as far, but it's more even sound. They're only having those couple, maybe 4-ish speakers pointed at them, and then the rest are going out to the rest of the room. So again, know what kind of speakers you have so you apply them correctly. And yeah, we're gonna get Walt all set up here. He's getting the saxophone going. He needs a XLR cable from me, so I'm gonna go run and grab that for him. So Walt has a wireless mic that he puts on his saxophone. It goes into a transmitter, transmits to the receiver goes into my mixer, and I already have a dedicated sax channel since I do this often, and he can just go straight into there. It's flat right now, and Walt has his own effects, so reverb, compression, whatever he needs to make himself sound good. And then if he didn't have that, I could use my mixer to add a little bit of reverb, echo, whatever they need to sound good and mix within what we're doing. Also, Walt is in a band called Mojo Flow, MOJOFLO. They tour all over the place, huge in Columbus. They've been around forever, so check them out. They just have a new album out, and they're really proud of it. So yeah, if you want to show some love to Walt and Mojo Flow, if you like the clips in the later part of the video and you're like, oh man, this guy's good, I wish I could book him with his band, that's where you go. So the other thing your saxophone player might need is an IEM hookup. I do have a wireless IEM hookup, which are called in-ear monitors for those of you who don't know. So sometimes when a sax player is moving around the dance floor, they want to hear a direct feed so they know they're playing on time. Walt just didn't bring any headphones, and this dude's a super professional. Wait till you see what he does. So he doesn't necessarily need them, but if you work with a sax player and they ask you for a wireless in-ear monitor hookup, that's what you're gonna need. And also there's a ton of products in my Amazon link for wireless IEMs. I just reviewed one that was only 50 bucks and worked great. I have one that's kind of built into your whole rack setup that I've reviewed. And then there's also an X Vive, which is what I kind of bring to the club with me. It scans, it's small. There's a couple issues with it, and I talk about it in the video, but those are like 3 options on the channel that you can check out if your musician needs wireless IEMs. So Walt's never heard this song before. Watch how quickly he figures this out. Watch how quickly. Let's get in here. So I think that's a part that a lot of people miss when they add a sax player. They think, oh, I'm just gonna play my music and add a sax player. Well, if you're playing loud and you want people to actually hear the sax that aren't just like right in front of them, that's where you have to put it through the system, and it's gonna take wireless, making sure that that's not interfering with your wireless handhelds, with your in-ear monitors. How do you get your in-ear monitors to your musician? So you have to put a little bit more thought into it than just, I'm gonna hire a really great sax player like Walt and just let it happen. I mean, I've been working with musicians for almost 10 years now, and before that when my dad was in his band. So I've been around this for a long time, and if you don't get the sound right, it really ruins from having the musician with you. You want it to sound really good, so that's why we do these tests, get here early, and even though we've done this a million times, every venue's different, and we just want to make sure it sounds great for the client. And we'll be making adjustments as the room fills up. This isn't just the volume that is going to be for the whole party. If the room fills up, you know, we're going to bring Walt up, we're going to bring the music down, and just make sure that we're walking in front of the speakers. A lot of people do their mixing from behind the DJ booth, and you really have, especially when you're playing with a musician, walk out in front of your speakers, tour the dance floor a little bit. Is this too loud? Is this too quiet? Get on the mic and make sure you're not too loud. It mixes all together. Or even better, like I'm always talking about on the channel, record yourself. We're gonna definitely be recording ourselves tonight. I listen back to it in the gym the next day and say, oh, okay, we could have gone a little extra volume on the mic, a little more sax, blah, blah, blah. So take it seriously, plan ahead, hire someone who, you know, it's not, you probably don't want to, this isn't where you go budget route on a musician. And maybe go to shows, you know, if there's a jazz club, if there's a funk club, place where there's live music, go check those places out and see, okay, here's where all the sound is, where's the sax player fit, how much is that pushing through the music, where is that level, and then try to emulate that when you get to the show. And again, constantly be checking in front of the speakers because sound changes as people go on and off the dance floor. So that should be it. We'll show you some clips of the party, and yeah, I'll probably sign off later. Okay, so I mentioned before that we're a little bit cramped today, so here was my solution for that. I have my 4 tube lights over here, and normally my other 2 ones would go outside or behind me, but since we can't really do that, I decided to spread them out over on this side, and that should give us a little bit more coverage on the dance floor. It's not the perfect look, but I think it's good for what we have. And yeah, I like where it's at. And guess what? If I don't, or if someone doesn't like it, the planner, the couple, they don't like it, we can always move it. And that's the beauty of having battery-powered wireless lighting. All right, so I got Walt setting up the uplights. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the picture that I took at the ceremony and put it on the TV screen. So take the memory card out of the camera and put it in our hub over here. Okay, so we're just gonna find a photo that we like. Pretty good. We're gonna drop it into Lightroom. Okay, now that we got it imported, we're gonna crop it. And then if you're a photographer, look away right now. I'm just gonna hit auto because I like to see what it does. And then I will make the adjustment. So I'm gonna bring the exposure up, bring the contrast up, highlights down, leave the shadows where they are. And we got a little vibrance saturation on there. And then I like to mess with the tone curves a little bit. And then we're gonna use a mask to grab the background. And it's a really colorful background, so we're just gonna saturate the background a little bit. Not by much, just a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna crop in just a little bit more to get rid of this red here. Keep them in the center. Bring this down, and there is our photo. We're gonna export into Photoshop, and then I already have a template made, so I'm just gonna put Owen and Mick. Place the image. I'm gonna do a little sneaky thing. My friend who's kinda balding, nothing wrong with that, I got it too, but I'm just gonna fill in his hairline real quick. That is very optional. So it's gonna fill in the hairline here. And then when we zoom out, looks pretty good. So that it's a little bit darker on the bottom, so the letters pop a little bit more. And we're ready to export. And the last part, we have our media flash drive here. Pop this in, make sure we delete last week's. Eject, and then when we go around to the front, we should have it. And this is what the final product looks like. And if I were to nitpick this, I could probably go a little bit darker with the gradient so that these letters pop a little bit more, but we're gonna change and then do our voice warm up and get ready for the rest of the party. Of the night, people still around enjoying themselves, but it was a process. Let me show you this table behind me. Look at all this. Look at this. I broke out everything. We got everything to try and make it work. So Walter, my saxophone player, his wireless was having issues once the crowd started to fill in. So I had to run, grab my other wireless, my other instrument mic, which I've never used before. It's been completely backup for years. Just like, okay, if I ever work with if the musician and their stuff doesn't work, I have one. So we were scrambling, we got everything, but it worked out. These two had a great time. We played so much EDM, felt like a little bit of Lost Lands, a little bit of Ultra in here. We had a good time. Big shout out to Lindsay, continuing to work hard. Look at her go. But you guys know what to do. If you found something helpful or interesting, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment with anything you want to see me do next. And if you saw something, I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff on Amazon, my Amazon link that'll have all, my musician's mic, my wireless, all that stuff. It'll be in the link. That's a free way for you to support the channel. Peace and practice. We out, baby. We out.